Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurekaCrystalBeads.com and I'm here with another fun tutorial for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so we always know when we're posting new content. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quite quickly and easily make an eyeglass chain, which is a piece of jewelry that is, I think, making a comeback. And it's so easy to make. You can make one for every outfit that you have or every mood in every color. I'm going to be making one with seed beads and crystal bicones. So what you're going to need to make one are obviously eyeglass chain ends, and these are these silicone bits. We have these with like silver coils like here and gold ones as well. And these are adjustable, so you can actually move this metal part from one side to the other so that when you put it on your glasses, you can just tighten it up so that the chain does not move along, and you can have it in the same place all the time. And in addition to that, you're going to need some sort of beading wire. Here I have soft flex beading wire, and this one is 21 strands, which means it's kind of in the middle when it comes to how flexible and supple it is. There's also a 7-strand wire and 49-strand wire, and the 49-strand one is more supple and more flowing, almost like a thread. And that will also be quite okay, but I think this is just right for our purpose today. What's important is that it's a fine one. So this one is 0.014 inches, which is 0.36 millimeters. And this one is going to be great because it fits even through 11.0 seed beads. So I'm recommending that one. We're also going to be needing a tool to cut this wire. And here I have flex wire cutters. You can use regular wire cutters, but they can get dull because they're not intended for steel wire, and this is steel, so that might dull them. Here I have a special pair of pliers to cut this kind of wire. We're also going to need crimping pliers. There are several sizes of them available, and you're going to need the totally regular, normal, basic crimping pliers. And we're going to use them to crimp these crimp tubes. And these actually came in a set with crimp covers that look like beads when you squish them. And that's actually quite important here because your eyeglass chain is going to have these ends kind of visible right next to your eye. So when somebody's looking at you and admiring your eyeglass chain, they're gonna see these ends immediately. So I do recommend that you use crimp covers and not just crimp tubes. And here is a nice set that you can get. So as you can see, these are 2mm crimp tubes and 4mm crimp covers. Make it all nice and clean looking. Here I also have some wire guards that we're going to be using to put the wire over the eyeglass chain ends, and you could just not put anything there, just use the wire to go through that. But some people said that the wire ends up cutting through the silicone at some point, so we just want to avoid that, so wire guards are perfect for that purpose. And if you don't have wire guards or don't want to use them, you can also use French wire. That is a tube, sort of, as you can see, and you can just put it like a piece that is maybe this long. You can put it over your beading wire after you put on the crimp tube, and just do it so that it goes through here so that everything is secured. I'm going to show you where and how to do this when we get there. When it comes to the design, you can basically use whatever you want, whatever beads you want or you have on you. I'm going to be using these 11.0 Toho beads and these absolutely gorgeous ELITE Eureka Crystal bicones. Look at how shiny they are. And I'm gonna make up like a pattern with them, or maybe do just like a graded pattern. I'm not sure yet, but the thing is that you can go crazy with that, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to design the pattern. So for a standard eyeglass chain, you're going to need approximately 30 inches of wire to have it like optimal length. You can of course use more or use less, and basically what you do is you just get the beads on the wire, and the way you can do it, you can start from like the middle and then simultaneously do the design on the two sides. And another thing is that the back, I'm going to do the back just with the seed beads because I usually wear my hair down and the back is simply not that visible. So I'm gonna focus with my design over here at the beginning of the wire, and I'm going to leave like this much, maybe, for the finishing. Another way that you can create your design is to start like in the beginning and then do as much as you want to make and then do the seed beads. And when you reach this same distance sort of on the other end, where when you hold it like in the middle here, then you can start doing the design just in reverse. And I think I'm going to do it that way, but you can also, as I said, start in the middle and then do both of the ends at the same time. Right now I've completed my design. As you can see, it's very simple. It's basically a bicone, and oh my god, I just can't get over how shiny they are. These are Crystal AB, and these are Sapphire Shimmer, I think? No, that's also Sapphire AB, and they're both so damn shiny. This is like an evening chain, I think. Maybe I'll make one with just like some cyan colors, something that's not this shiny, because in real life, it just sparkles so great. Anyway, this is my design, just basically bicone, 3 beads, and I've been adding them interchangeably with the colors, and then some just 11-0s, and I actually counted that, and this is 235 beads over here, and this is how many I got there. And one more thing, if you don't want your beads to slide down, you can use a bead stopper so that it's safe and they don't just slide right off the wire as you add them on the other end. So what I'm going to do now is put this all together and make it into an eyeglass chain. So this is what you do. You pick up a crimp tube and you put it on your wire. And now, depending on what you're using, a wire guard or a French wire, this is what you add next. If I wanted to use French wire, I would just put it on the wire and then put all of that through the silicone eyeglass shine end, and then put this back into this crimp tube. I'm going to be using a wire guard, so first of all, I'm going to put a wire guard on the silicone end, and I'm going to just pop this on just like from the side, like this. And because that metal is actually kind of bent upwards, so it won't actually scratch or damage the silicone. So I think that's a perfect solution here. And I'm going to put the end of my wire through one end of the wire guard, and then through this loop in the silicone end. And now I'm going to turn back around and feed this through this other end of that wire guard. Let me just put it through just like that. And as I'm here, I'm actually going to slide this crimp tube and the first bead up. So I'm feeding this wire through the first bicone as well. And I'm actually going to help myself with some flat nose pliers or chain nose pliers to kind of pull it a little bit further through. And now I'm going to take my crimping pliers, and as you'll notice, they have two openings. The one more towards my left looks a little bit like a kidney bean, and the other more towards the edge of the pliers, this one looks just like an oval. And we're first going to use the kidney bean shaped one. So what you do is you put your tube into that first opening that looks like a kidney bean. Let me see if I can get that more visible for you. You try to place it like in the middle of the tube so that it doesn't poke out either way. And you squish it. I also like to go a little bit up and squish it some more, and a little bit down and squish it some more. And now, as you'll notice, this has a little bit of a kidney bean shape or a letter C shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it to the side and put it into that other opening right here. Again, I'm going to try and place it like in the middle. As you'll notice, the more oval part is towards the back, towards the pliers, and this kind of C shape is facing outwards, kind of towards the jaws of the pliers. So what I do is I squish it so that it kind of bends in half. Like this. And we can squish it some more so that it's even smaller. And now is when you add the crimp cover, which you can just put again in that second opening like this. And you just place that squished crimp tube inside and gently press on it so that it closes. I'm just gonna go on the other side as well. You can also do that with flat nose pliers and press on it so that it closes. Because we want it to look sort of like a bead. There, and I'm gonna slide this bead up. And I'll take my flex cutters, trim the excess. And I can go right to the other side. Make sure that everything is nice and tight, so I slide all of the beads down. And here again, I'm going to do the same thing. So crimp tube. I'm going to put the wire guard on the silicone. Now the wire through the wire guard. And I'm going to go through that crimp tube and the first bead or two. Actually, it might be even easier to trim this closely to the bead later on if you also go through the first 11 now. So at this point, what's also important is to pull it tight enough so that it meets all of the beads. Like that. It still needs some space so that your chain is not like super stiff, but it has some wiggle space. And also some space to kind of put the crimp cover on later on. So I'm just going to leave some space over here as well. Now the crimping. Now if you don't have a crimping tool, it's absolutely okay to just squish this with your flat nose pliers or chain nose pliers. And this is just going to stay sort of flat, which is also okay. To the side and squish. And that's it. That's how you make this lovely sparkly beaded eyeglass chain with ELITE Eureka Crystal bicones that sparkle like crazy. The longest part of doing this was actually just putting all the beads on. But apart from that, it's super quick and super easy to make. I hope you have fun making yours. All of the materials that I've shown you today can be found at eurekacrystalbeads.com. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!